Hello there, lovely people! Welcome back to English with Catherine. I hope you're all really well and you've had a good week. I've got something slightly different for you today. I swear I start every video now saying that. I'm going to tell you what my mum says a lot. Her kind of language habits. And this is going to act as a kind of case study so that you can compare the language and the English used by someone a bit older to language used by younger speakers, like me. Now, there isn't that much difference between the way I speak and the way my mum speaks. She is in her mid-60s now. She speaks with modern received pronunciation, so exactly like me. She grew up in the south of England, which is why she has that accent. So I'm very close to my mum and I spend a lot of time with her. She's like my best friend, honestly. So, you know, I've had plenty of opportunity to study her language. Now, to start things off, I'm wearing blue. This is not my colour, I have to say. I never wear blue. But guess whose colour it is? My mum's. She suits blue so well. She has these like ice blue coloured eyes, and when she wears blue, it just sets off the whole thing so beautifully. So in honour of her, I'm wearing a blue top today. I'm also wearing very minimalist jewellery because she's very petite, so she only wears very small, dainty jewellery, which really suits her. And I'm also wearing Chanel No. 5 perfume. I love it as well, but it's her perfume that she always wears. I tend to just wear it in the evenings in the winter time because I love how musky it is, but it's so elegant and it's the perfume she wears every day. So shall we get started? I've got 9 things to share with you that she says regularly and I can't wait to show you. Number 1. Oh, I'm stuck in standstill traffic. Okay, I don't know if she does that and like she's not as expressive as me. She's a bit more laid back, a bit more reserved, but she says this a lot. I'm stuck in standstill traffic. Standstill. Now, as you know, in the UK, there's a lot of traffic, especially in the south. It's quite overpopulated compared to other parts of the UK like Wales and Scotland and Yorkshire and Cornwall. So in that sort of south part around London, it's very, very, very busy. And there's always traffic. So it's kind of part of our everyday English to have these traffic expressions just to use whenever we need them. So what tends to happen is we have a plan to meet for a coffee and she texts me saying, I'm stuck in standstill traffic, nothing I can do. So she's invariably a little bit late, but I always understand because of course it's normal for this area. Other options. Gridlock. We often say that. The traffic was absolute gridlock last night. Now, my mum is a lovely, patient person. So even when she's stuck in standstill traffic for up to an hour sometimes, she doesn't really mind. She doesn't really care. I've always admired that about her. My dad, on the other hand, oh my gosh, he really, really doesn't like traffic and he will complain so much. I hope he's not watching. Number 2, oh, crumbs. Okay, this is a real mum word. Like if you ask anyone, any native person in the UK, they'll probably say that their mum says this word. Oh, crumbs. It means, oh gosh, oh no, oh damn. So in British culture, we like to sort of disguise our annoyance with a really trivial word. Like something really, really innocent that kind of doesn't really properly express the anger. It kind of just makes it polite and softer. And crumbs is a great way to do that. So crumbs, I don't know if you know, but they're like the little bread particles. So you can, if you make a sandwich, there will be some crumbs left after you make it. But it's just a word that older mums have adopted as their word for, oh, God. Younger people would probably be like, oh, God, oh my God, or oh, damn. But yeah, oh, crumbs is what she says. Silent B, by the way, if you ever want to use this. By the way, it's near firework night in the UK, so if you hear some big explosions, it's a firework, it's nothing else. Did you hear that? There's lots going off. Really scares the dogs, it's really sad, but I love them, I have to say, I love them. Number 3, keep your hair on. Keep your hair on. God. Let me explain. When you say keep your hair on to someone, it means calm down, you know, just be okay. You're getting a bit out of your tree there. Just calm down, settle down. Keep your hair on. You don't want your hair to fly off with how angry you are. You know, that's not, oh, another firework. Ah. So if I get a bit, you know, Another firework. So if I get a bit animated about something, like a little bit annoyed, to sort of take the stress out of the situation and the tension, she'll say this expression, keep your hair on. And it kind of just makes us all laugh, or kind of just, you know, it kind of just like relieves everyone of how they're feeling. It's not too rude. It's not impolite, really. Well, it is a little bit. This English is quite archaic now, so it's not something that I necessarily recommend using, but it's really good for research purposes and British culture. And just to say, it's very British. And by the way, everything you will hear is going to be very British because my mum is, you guessed it, very British. Number 4, Gordon Bennett. Okay, you really will never have heard of this. Honestly, this is archaic, okay? I'm not quite sure if anyone actually uses this other than my mum and my mum's friends, and actually my boyfriend's mum as well. By the way, I'm doing that because he's up there in the attic. So Gordon Bennett means, oh my God. It's like the kind of old polite way of saying, oh my God. And, you know, if my mum looks out of the window and sees there's a big storm brewing and the trees are doing this and it's raining like crazy, not raining cats and dogs though. Now that is an idiom that is well and truly archaic. I have to say, not even my mum or my grandmother uses that. So be careful of teachers. I'm not going to name anyone, but anybody who's teaching old idioms that are not in use, it's not that helpful. Just be careful. She will say, Gordon Bennett, look at the weather. Gordon Bennett, it's really, really crazy out there. Gordon Bennett, we're going to be late. So again, it's a way of making a stressful situation a little bit comical, or just, you know, taking the tension out of it, taking the pressure off the situation. Don't forget, this is English used by someone in their 60s and it is a bit archaic, so just use with caution. Number 5, scrub your teeth and then give me a call before bedtime. Ah, my lovely mum. I used to live really far away. I've lived in Spain, I was in Thailand for quite a while. And I'd still keep in touch with my mum all the time because that's just kind of the relationship we have. We're like 2 peas in a pod. And it was always that she'd text me that, like, scrub your teeth, which is brush your teeth. The older way of saying brush your teeth is scrub. That's what they used to say more commonly. So scrub your teeth and give me a call before bedtime. And that was our kind of routine. Just before bed, I would always give her a call. Sometimes the time difference was really, really crazy, but she didn't really care because that's just my mum. Number 6. Well, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, aren't you? You're stuck between a rock and a hard place. This is an example of a slightly archaic idiom. It's not incorrect, of course. You know, you can use it if you want. It's just a little bit archaic. It's not something I hear my friends using very often or people I know. But my mum loves it and she uses it a lot. Now let me tell you what it means. So if you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, it means you're stuck between 2 equally unpleasant or bad situations. So you have to choose between 2 bad things. So neither of them are that ideal. So for example, if someone is asking for your help, but by giving them your help, you are deceiving or betraying another friend, that can sometimes happen, right? You would be going behind the back of the other friend. That could be an example of this, you know, but you're really stuck in that situation. You want to help this person, but you'd be betraying the other person by doing that. So it can be a really difficult call. And this idiom perfectly illustrates that. Number 7, I'm terribly sorry. I'm terribly sorry. And this is extremely polite, as in almost verging on RP English. RP is not a dialect, it's an accent. But there are certain words that, you know, people can argue with me, but come on, it's true. There are certain bits of language that go with RP and don't really go with modern RP. And terribly, used in this context, is one of those examples. So if you say, I'm terribly sorry, it's a very, very sort of eloquent, elegant way to say that you're really sorry. And again, it's kind of archaic now. I don't hear this being used by anyone that I know. It's just not in use. It's very kind of in that RP category, which is spoken by, I think, 2% of the population. But my mum happens to be in that 2% with certain things that she says, partly because of her upbringing. She was brought up by my granny and grandpa who spoke with RP. which I'm going to make a video about soon. Yeah, so she's become more modern RP when she met my dad, who's modern RP, not RP at all. But she still has like echoes of her childhood and her upbringing in her language, which is really interesting. So sometimes I'm like, Mum, wow, that's kind of posh. I hate the word posh. I hate that word, but it's kind of considered posh English. But anyway, try not to use that word because it's kind of got stigma attached to it. It's RP, basically. Number 8. God, there's no room to swing a cat in here. There's no room to swing a cat in here. This is an old expression. This is definitely not RP. This is definitely much more everyday English, kind of informal slang kind of stuff. But it just means there's no room. There's no room where you're living, Catherine. And this was my reality when I lived in London. I lived in various house shares and flat shares. And honestly, like there was one particular room I rented and you just open the door and, you know, there was just me there, just in bed because there was only enough room in the bedroom to just sleep. It was basically just like a sleep capsule. It was very cozy. I made it lovely. I put fairy lights up, pictures, but you know, it was essentially a cubicle to change in and get into bed. So yeah, my mum would say things like that. But it was all good fun, you know, it didn't damage me. It's made me stronger and it just made me strive for what I really wanted, which was a bit more space. Couldn't have my piano up there, for example. Number 9, wait for the dust to settle. Just wait for the dust to settle and then make your move. Okay, lovely expression here. Good one, Mum. Really nice. Happy to say I approve of this expression. If you wait for the dust to settle, it just means wait for time to pass before you make your move. Okay, so maybe there's been a confrontation between two people. One of them has shouted at the other. Big deal in England. Very confrontational. We don't like that. And you just need to wait for the dust, which is, you know, dust in the atmosphere. Dust can cause allergies. Dust is very bad. I try to dust as much as I can, but it's absolutely futile living somewhere like this because there's dust everywhere and it's just in the air. If you can imagine that, you wait for the dust to settle. That's takes some time, you know, before you can dust it away again. And that will give time for everything to calm down. And then it's okay to make your move. You know, if you act too quickly, you can actually make the situation worse and provoke someone a little bit more. So I sometimes need this advice because I'm sometimes quite like impulsive and I want to say something or I want to do something. But my mum, she's so amazing. She's so calm. I don't know how she does it. She's so calm. She considers every move she makes. She's inspiring, I have to say. So wait for the dust to settle after any argument or any altercation or any confrontation, then decide what to do. Right guys, I hope you weren't too distracted by the fireworks going off. They are great, I do love them, but daytime fireworks, it's a bit strange, isn't it? Should be in the night. I hope you enjoyed all the motherly language. I did touch upon the RP accent and dialect in a sense, and I'm going to give you more information about that soon because it's really good for you to see the difference between modern RP and why there's a difference and how they both became different accents. Have a lovely weekend. I hope you've got some fun things planned and I'll see you next Friday for another video. Bye!